Hello and welcome. I'm Anna Wild, the Birth Whisperer, and it is my mission to give you the calm confidence that you need for giving birth. So if you're interested in this floaty idea that birth doesn't have to be painful, then today's interview is going to be so fascinating for you. I am absolutely thrilled to be talking with a Scottish midwife, Amanda Gwynne, who has not only been a midwife for 30 years, she's also a trained hypnotherapist and hypnobirthing practitioner, and today she's going to share with us some of the wisdom that she's discovered about birth and about the uterus and whether it has to hurt so much, and to share some of her top tips for helping you have a more relaxing, calm and less painful birth. So let's get into it. So Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today to share some of your wisdom.
Oh, that's a pleasure, absolutely pleasure. Thanks, Anna, for inviting me to join you. I'm always happy to share anything I can with anybody, so yes.
Great. So I think we'll just get right into the nitty-gritty, and one of the things that women fear most about birth is the pain, and it's really seen as a given that birth is inherently painful and that it's going to be a bit of an ordeal. How could you respond to this?
Well, I would disagree that it is a given that it's painful, and I think that's a misconception that has come about probably over many years, since we changed the way that we were looked after as women in labour, going back into many centuries ago, where women went from being revered and supported in labour, to being left alone to get on with it, due to sort of other beliefs and things like that. So, many a midwife, and I'm glad I wasn't around then, was burnt at the on the fire because they were witches. So things have changed. So perhaps that's sort of been ingrained into us genetically, but also, over the years and in later years, the fact of the media coverage and the stories, because of course they're always embellished, so it always does appear more painful. But so women already have this fear of childbirth before they even go into labour. And it's thanks to Dr. Grantley Dick Reed in the early 20s and 30s that he recognised that actually what caused the pain was fear and tension. And if you took away the fear of giving birth and the tension, so using relaxation techniques, then you could reduce the discomfort and actually, it need not be painful. And that's my experience, and the majority of my clients that come to me for hypnobirthing is that it is a powerful force of nature, no doubt about it, and you work with your body. However, pain isn't always something that people would describe it as, but everybody is an individual, so there would be varying levels in that degree.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think surely, like the uterus itself, it's never done this big job. It's never opened up the cervix and it's never helped to get a baby down. So it's quite a strenuous, it's quite hard work, you'd think. It's doing a lot of moving. So shouldn't this be painful?
Well, not necessarily, because it's another muscle in our body. And I think we underestimate this wonderful, complex machine that is our body. It's so beautifully tuned and prepared for giving birth. So we get pregnant, and most of us think that this is something that we just do easily. And for the majority, thank goodness this is the case. And then we nurture the baby for 9 months, and we never doubt that our bodies inherently are going to nurture and look after this baby. And then when it comes to childbirth, we say, oh no, the body can't do this. And I find that quite strange, and I always say that to my clients. And it's a muscle, and it's a very powerful muscle. If you think the uterus increases in size by 5 times, it goes from 50 grams to 1,000 grams. So it is a very powerful muscle, and it does work hard. But it's like any other muscle, and if you use it correctly, then it shouldn't be painful. You should be aware of it and working with it, but it shouldn't be painful. Not in my opinion, anyway.
So you say work with it. So maybe you can give us several techniques, 3-4 techniques that a woman who may not be going to a hypnobirthing class or going somewhere to learn how to relax for birth. Can you give us several tips for this woman?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think firstly, I would say breathe. So many of us, when we feel tense, we hold our breath. And once you do that, everything seizes up and you become very tense. So using breathing techniques. So simple breathing techniques, even just breathing in and out through your nose. One I really like using is is called calm breathing, whereby you breathe in through your nose for a count of 4 and then out for a count of 8. And at the same time, after that, I then suggest perhaps you breathe in the colour and the feeling of calm as you breathe in. So breathing in the feeling and colour of calm for 4, and then breathing out the colour and feeling of tension. And straight away, you've relaxed your body, you've slowed your heart rate. So that's a very useful technique just to bring you back into a calm state. And just breathing and not holding your breath. So there are lots of different yoga kind of breathing techniques which are very useful that you can pick up easily and integrate into your practice in preparation for birth.
That's fantastic. Is there anything else apart from breathing?
Secondly, relaxation, I would say, is the second most important thing. And this, I'm talking physical relaxation, and then mental relaxation will follow. So I would say using a relaxation technique, and the one I like to use is waves of relaxation hovering above your head. So it could be golden healing waves, soothing waves, and just visualize them coming slowly down over the top of your head, your forehead, over your face, your nose, your lips, and your jaw. And your facial relaxation sets the pace for the rest of your body. So once your face is relaxed, it then follows that it's easy to relax the rest of your body, and just working slowly through all the muscles, all the way down to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. And you can just see and feel these waves flowing out of all 10 fingertips and all 10 toes. So that would be my second most important tip, I would say.
That's wonderful. And I think you're really encouraging people to spend a little bit of time practicing their breathing and then relaxation. Is there a third or fourth technique that you might recommend?
Well, I'll put 2 together because they work in conjunction. And I would say visualization and affirmations. And visualization is very powerful. As Napoleon Hill famously said, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And so, in all sports today, at high-level sports, all of the athletes visualize winning the race. They run the race and they win it in their mind before they ever get onto a track. And that makes a huge difference to the outcome. And it's the same with birth. If you visualize the birth, that you want that calm, gentle birth, giving birth easily and gently, embracing your baby, and you visualize and you practice that. Either you can have a TV in your mind, and you can have a DVD that you edit, fast forward till you get exactly the birth that you want in your mind. It's more likely that this will follow. And coupling that with affirmations, I embrace my birthing body. As you say, always a positive statement in the present tense, not I will, because that's the future, but I am, or I am embracing my birthing body, I embrace my birthing body, and visualizing yourself, achieving this labor, as you say, those affirmations. Those 2 together is like synergy, 2 + 2 = 5, and it makes it so much more powerful. Those are my main tips, I would say.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Very, very helpful. And the final point that I want to cover is that sometimes a mother really wants a natural birth and she puts all of her good effort into it and she's prepared, you'd think, on all levels, and it can be a really huge shock when she's been focused on the best outcome and not having any intervention. And if it doesn't go that way, she can feel like a real failure. And I wonder if, because her hopes were so high and she spent all this time visualizing and doing the breathing and really imagining having a great birth, it's like she's got further to fall. And I wonder if this approach of really visualizing the best that can happen can sometimes be like setting yourself up for failure if it doesn't work out.
I understand. That's a very good question and quite difficult to answer. But what I would say is that whether you believe you can or you can't, either way you're right, as Henry Ford famously said. So we have to aim for what we wish to achieve. And if we don't achieve that due to unforeseen circumstances, I always explain to women that whatever happens, whether you achieve a natural birth or you need assistance, or even end up with a cesarean section, that using these techniques will enable you to cope with whatever your labour brings, and that you'll still have a very positive outcome. So, I always say there is no such thing as failure, but it's the trying and, aiming for the stars instead of, the ground. You've got to aim for what you want to achieve, or you won't achieve it, and not to beat yourself up if unforeseen circumstances occur. And of course, we're not mind readers. We can't tell what will happen. But at the end of the day, as long as you and your baby are well, and it's been a positive experience, you can always take that from it, whatever the outcome.
Right, so you're suggesting maybe using these same techniques to help yourself stay calm and relaxed and centered through whatever unfolds.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of my clients ended up with a cesarean. It doesn't happen often, but it did. And the anaesthetist was sort of amazed, because there she was lying there being sewn up. She was videoing her husband with the baby. And it was still a wonderful experience. And she had the skin to skin. And so she made it a very special occasion, even though it wasn't the natural water birth that she had originally planned. She still was able, using the techniques and the self-empowerment, to deal with what came her way in a very positive manner. So
wonderful. And finally, to conclude, is there anything that you wish to say to the women of the world who are about to give birth?
I would say that look into hypnobirthing, and then, if that's something that you really would like to do, then practice and practice and practice. It's like any skill. The more you do it, the more proficient you get, and the easier it is to incorporate it into your life and into your labour and your birth. And that would be my advice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep it.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Amanda. It's just been amazing.
Well, no, thank you for inviting me, Anna. I'm really happy. I'm passionate about hypnobirthing, and I'm always happy to spread the word. So anytime.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've been inspired, please share, because your voice supports positive, respectful childbirth for mothers and babies all over the world. Make a comment, send this link to your friends, post on Facebook, and sign up for more calm birthing confidence that I share in emails at thebirthwhisperer.com.